Hello everyone, Rafael Manga from Iron Vibes here, and today I will show the best mastering rack you've ever seen. I was waiting a long time to create this rack, because I didn't have complete mastery over this topic because I didn't work with mastering. But as I've been working professionally with this for some time already, I decided to make this rack for you. In it, I used the same techniques that I use when I do mastering, like parallel compression, parallel saturation, multi-band compression, multi-band stereo amplitude, clipping. Ableton doesn't have a clipper, but I made one. You find it on a card here and in the description of this video. And I replaced my plugins with Ableton stock plugins, and to my surprise, the result was amazing. The final result was very close to the masterings I did using several professional levels plugins from brands like FabFilter, Plugin Alliance, SSL, Isotope, Ozone, among others. So I will show the result comparing it with one of the last songs I mastered, a song of my own, so I don't need to ask permission from any client. This song has not yet been released, so let's start. So I will start demonstrating the difference between the same track mastered with this rack that I made, only with Ableton stock plugins, and a mastering that I made before with the Awesome plugins. I will make the solo here, so you can see. This is the mastered track, and this one is the rack working. As you can hear, the difference is very close. Actually, this one I think it's a little bit loud and a bit present. Maybe now it's very close. This mastered have something more detail, but it's very, 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 very a little bit difference. So I was surprised with this rack. I made the same thing, but with expensive plugins. So let's start. I will show what I made and how to mastering with this track. The first step, I'm controlling the input signal. Your mix down need to be between -8 and -6 dB. If you have some peak over the -5.5 dB, it will limit. So do not limiter. Please do not. You cannot see your track going here. Okay, so get the highest peak like this one and see if it's limiting here. No, so that's okay. As we can see, let me turn this down. It's 5, 6, 4. So no problem, no limiting. And let me show if it was a little bit higher. Let me turn this on again. As you can see, it's clipping. So in this case, turn this down a little bit. Yes, it's enough. Okay, guys. Obviously, your mix down needs to be good enough for mastering. As you can see, my mix down don't have a lot of peaks, and it's a good mix down, honestly. As you can see, I didn't give the option to go too much. The lows or the highs a little bit, because sometimes people make the mix down in time to compare with the reference. You see, oh, so I give the highs more possibility to go beyond and parse a little bit more, but the lows only 2 dBs more or less. So let's start. Here we already have a good input limit. If you go a little bit loud or with less headroom, you can control here. And since you have balanced good headroom to start, go to the next step. Here you will control the presence. Is that frequency 3K Hertz, and you can give a little bit more here. Mood removal, that is that area 250 that you have a lot of instrument, a lot of informations, and you can remove it a little bit. You give a play and you test, compare with the reference, and you will feel if you need it. If you don't need it, give it 0 and go to the next step. Highs, increase the highs if your track is too dark. If you have too highs, you can give it back a little bit. And after the highs, as you can see, have an X. What it means? X, you go to this area that is a compression, multi-band compression. I separated the lows from the other part of the track, the mids and the highs. So what you need to do, this red, let me turn this down, this red part, you will compress 5 dBs. Let me show. Click in the red, you are seeing the meter from low, comp 1. You will increase until this meter compress 5 dB. Okay, good. And now for mid and highs, you click here. You are seeing another meter, different meters. Now you will control here. Click in the blue, you see the blue control for the compressor mid and highs until 5 dB. I'm making a parallel compression here and here with different attack and release configured for lows. The same thing I do in my professional mastering rack with expensive plugins. After that, you come back here in the X and continue following this flow. Here you have mid width. Pay attention in the voice. I love this one. I love this one. I love this one. I love this. I love this. I love. I love. I love. I love. I love this one. I said I love this one. And that is the highs width. Pay attention in the hi-hats. You will listen the hi-hats going to your side. After that, you go here, control your lows. Low cut, if you have too much fatness in the subs, so you can cut here, more or less. I can configure it to usual frequency. You can cut from 10 to 35. If your lows are very well calibrated in the mix down, you can leave it close to 20 Hz. That's it, people. Mastering is details, okay? If you I already have too much lows, go back to your mix down and fix it, and after that go to your master. A good mastering doesn't fix a bad mix down. Warm, you will saturate your track, not your low frequencies. I separated here. To these separations that I made here, here, and here, I used a crossover, linear crossover. These parts that doesn't have any tag, here you can see a crossover. I used a technique to make it linear, so this way you don't destroy your phase. That is good technique. I think the worst thing in that other mastering racks for Ableton, it's people doesn't take care of this, and this is very important. Don't mess with your phase on this mastering. I made everything thinking in the final result, because mastering is details, right? So warm, clean master, a dirty master. Louder. Gain. The gain is very important, right? We will check this meter here. We cannot go beyond minus 6 dB of limiting, okay? If you want a clean mastering, you go to minus 3 dB. If you want a louder mastering, you go until 6. Don't go further. Here I didn't use only a limiter. I have a clipper and a compressor here helping this limiter as I make in my professional mastering. I didn't use only one limiter. I use other things only to hold the peak. This way you can have loudness without give all the work for the limiter. I think it's is one of the thing I learned, to have a louder mastering without have distortion. So in the ceiling, you control. Oh, I forgot to explain. Every step here, you point your mouse and you have an explanation. Here, info review. Input, button, what presence do, what this does, eyes, everything. And in the ceiling, I explained, for string mastering, you leave more headroom. Because when Spotify, for example, convert your song to a bad quality to be faster to the internet for the listeners, if you doesn't leave headroom, the conversion will bring distortion and bad quality. So if you are making a mastering for streaming, you need to give space for this conversion, okay? But if you are making this mastering for club, for playing, you can bring it all over up here until minus just a little bit, okay? So I think that's it. You have all these informations here. If you wanna see these infos, you turn this, you can see. Compatibility. I made it on Ableton 11 Suite, but if you want it for older Ableton Lives, just ask in the comments. If I see comments enough, I will make it okay in older versions. I think I have a older MacBook here. I will open and copy all the parameters, but only if I have comments enough. This rack is available for download, and you will find the link in the description. And please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to this channel, and see you in the next video.